Hi everybody, my name's Julia from Bobbins and Buttons. My business and my channel are all about helping people to make clothes that they love. This is part 2 of my tutorial series for how to line the Jayne dress, which is the style of dress that I'm wearing. So in the last video I showed you how to draft the pattern for the lining, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use that pattern and make the dress up. So I've cut out my dress. The outer and facings are exactly as the pattern states, so that's all exactly the same. So you've just got these 2 extra pieces made in lining, so your new lower front lining and your lower back lining. So just before you start making it up, I would recommend just making a little notch in the lower edge of your front and back facings and the upper edge of your front and back lining pieces, just so that we can match those together nicely when you come to sew it. So I've already started, I've made the darts, and as you can see they're set below this seam line, which is the thing we want to make sure they're not going to foul that seam line. So that's all looking good, and now we're ready to stitch the facing to the upper edge of the lining. So this is very much like making 2 dresses and then putting them together and bagging it out. So it's a very simple process. But what we need to do to start with is just to put the lining and the facing together. So where we've got that centre front notch, we can put right sides together and match that notch, because you've got 2 opposite way curves going together. So we just want to make sure that they fit together nicely. So I'm just going to pin it, anchor it at that centre front point, and then I'm just going to start working my way round, just slightly bending the lower edge of the facing. So that the raw edges are meeting all the way along. And then at the end you will have a piece that sticks over, but when you fold back it'll be nice and aligned, or it should be. So that's looking right. So we'll just carry on and do the other side, and then I can go away and stitch that. And that's it. So yep, that's all looking really good. So I can go away and stitch that now, and then I'm going to do exactly the same with the back lining and back facing. I've gone ahead and stitched the facing to the upper edge of the lining, and then I've also overlocked that to neaten the seam on the inner edge of that. And then I've done exactly the same with the back piece, which is slightly more extreme curve, but I've also overlocked that. So I'm now going to stitch these 2 pieces together at the side seam. So this is essentially the same as the instructions for making up the neck facing, so we're almost treating this like the neck facing instructions in the pattern. So I'm just going to stitch, matching these 2 seams together at the side. I'm going to stitch all the way down to the bottom of the lining on both sides. So I've stitched the side seams of the lining, and I've also overlocked those. I've overlocked them together because the fabric's quite light, especially the lining, so that can be pressed towards the back. I've also made up the dress just following the instructions. So basically now we're pretty much back on track to putting the dress together as if the lining was just the facing, so I can follow the instructions for that. So basically all I'm going to do is turn the dress right sides out and put the lining right sides together around the neck edge and stitch that. So this is all exactly as the instructions are. So the last part really that's different, having the lining, is going to be doing the hem. So I'm going to go and pin and stitch the neck edge, and and then we'll have a look at the hem. So the dress is finished and I've tried it on, and I've decided I want to turn up 4 centimetres. I want to make it 4 centimetres shorter, but rather than trimming anything off, I'm going to leave the whole 4 centimetres on. And what I've done is I've overlocked the edge and turned it up. So I'm going to machine it so that I have a deep hem, machined hem, but I think that fits quite nicely with the style of the dress, like a bit of a feature, so I like that look. And the other thing is, with it being lined, the lining isn't actually going to be attached to the hem at any point, it's just going to hang, and I want it to hang so it just is above the very edge of the dress but covers this stitched edge, so I want it to fall about there. So I just need to adjust the length of the lining now. At the moment the lining was cut exactly the same length as the dress. So with the hem turned on the outer edge of the dress, the lining is hanging 4 centimetres below the dress, and I want it to sit above the hem of the dress and just below this edge, so somewhere halfway in the middle, to make that look neat. Because they're not actually going to be stitched together, they're just going to this is just going to hang inside the dress and just fall over the hem edge. But at the moment, because it's exactly the same length as the outer, it's 4 centimetres longer than the dress. So if I was to cut off 4 centimetres and then turn up a double turned hem, which would be 1 centimetre followed by 1.5 centimetres, so that's 2.5 centimetres, the hem would finish here. So I think that's quite nice. So if I cut off 4 centimetres, I might cut off 3.5 just to be on the safe side, to bring that down a little bit. And then just all I need to do then is turn and press once and turn and press twice and stitch on the inner edge of that, and that will finish just above the hem edge like this. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. If you've got any further comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below. If you'd like to see more tutorials and videos, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.